Hello, darkness, my old friend.
I haven't really sat down and talked to you for a while. Well, not like I've been lying down and talking to you either. Anyways, I've been reading this book called Letting Go, The Pathway of Surrender by David Hawkins, and I've been wanting to share it with you. I actually wrote the first draft for this video back in May. But then I had to move across countries and I started going around and meeting people, and I also needed to make some other videos, so I never got a chance to finish writing my draft. Well, now I'm a bit more settled down. I feel like it's finally time we talk about it. Why am I sharing this book? Well, it's mainly because of all the negativity and emotional suffering I've been experiencing both within myself and from other people. And at one point I just thought, what if there's another way? What if we don't have to suffer from all the negative feelings? And what if we could be perfectly content with whatever's going on in our lives? Wouldn't that be liberating? Well, there is a way. We just didn't know about it. In the book, David Hawkins introduced a technique that's literally called the letting go technique. It's a technique that could help us let go of negative feelings and become free of attachments, because attachments are actually the main cause of emotional pain. If we let go of attachments to anything or anyone, then there's no emotional pain. And when there's no emotional pain, there's no negativity. Problem solved. Well, sign me up. Before we jump into the technique though, we need to understand a very important distinction between thoughts versus feelings. Whenever we have a negative feeling, we have all kinds of thoughts associated with it, right? Like, how could this person do this to me? This is so unfair. Does he even know how this makes me feel? I'm gonna stay mad so that I can punish him. Which is absolutely insane if you think about it. Thoughts in and of themselves are painless. It's the feelings behind them that are actually causing us the pain. One feeling can literally create thousands of thoughts. So if we can let go of the feeling itself, then all those thoughts will instantly disappear, and we'll have a peace of mind. That means instead of focusing on our thoughts, we should focus on handling our feelings. As someone who's rather uncomfortable with feelings, I can tell you firsthand I don't know how to handle my feelings a lot of the time. Most people handle feelings in one of three ways. The first way is suppression and repression. Suppression means you're consciously pushing the feeling down. Like, nope, I don't feel it, I shouldn't feel it, and I don't want to deal with it right now. Hands up, I do this all the time. Repression is unconscious, like you don't even know you've been pushing down that feeling because there's just too much guilt and fear over feeling that feeling in the first place. The second way is expression, which means the feeling is vented, verbalized, or acted out on others. I used to do that a lot when I was younger, but as I mature, I've been trying to keep myself under control, just like how Bruce Banner is keeping Hulk under control. Because I'm always angry. Just kidding. Some people may say expressing the feeling would free you from that feeling, but it's not true. You're just giving it more energy, and in the meantime, dumping that feeling on other people. Now, they have to choose to either suppress it, express it, or escape it. And yes, the third way is escape, which means avoiding the feeling through diversion. When we think of all the endless partying, socializing, smoking, drinking, or even overworking, these are all a form of escape. I don't have a problem with escaping through partying, drinking, or smoking, but I do have a tendency to overwork. Because if I stop, I'll start overthinking again. But that's also not a healthy way to cope. And as you probably experienced yourself, these ways are not that effective. We're still left with the same negative emotions, whether we suppress them, express them, or escape them. They're still there, somewhere deep down inside us, waiting to come up later. The only way to actually get rid of these feelings is to let go of them. So how do we let go of the negative feelings within us? It's not like we can just take a shit and it's gone. Sorry, that was gross. I'm just gonna quote David Hawkins. Letting go involves being aware of a feeling, letting it come up, staying with it, and letting it run its course without wanting to make it different or do anything about it. It means simply to let the feeling be there and to focus on letting out the energy behind it. The technique is to be with the feeling and surrender all efforts to modify it in any way. Let go of wanting to resist the feeling. It is resistance that keeps the feeling going. Like I mentioned earlier, you should only focus on the feeling itself, not the thoughts behind it. For example, if you're feeling sad right now, instead of thinking who or what made you sad, or that you shouldn't be feeling sad, just stay with the sadness. If you want to cry, cry. Cry until your tears run out. See how long you can cry. Probably a few hours at most. Not that it's based on personal experience. Okay, yes, sometimes I would just do a crying session and I would usually feel pretty amazing after that. I don't know, maybe you could give it a try. Just maybe don't do it in public. Well, of course, this is not a one-time thing. It's not like we can just let go once and it's gone forever. A lot of the time, the emotion has been stuffed down inside of us for a long time. So we need to continue applying the letting go technique whenever the emotion comes up. And slowly we'll start to realize we feel that emotion less and less, and eventually it'll run out. If there's one thing in the book that literally blew my mind, it's the whole concept of the map of consciousness. It's the correlation between emotions and different levels of consciousness. I'm sure you've heard of things like raising your frequency or becoming more conscious. Like, okay, sounds good, I want to be able to do that. But it's also really abstract and hard to grasp. After learning about the map of consciousness, I was like, oh, I think I get it now. Basically, everything has a vibrational energy, including emotions. It could be either positive or negative, and each emotion corresponds with a consciousness level. At the lower level of consciousness, we often experience negative emotions, and at the higher level of consciousness, we primarily experience positive emotions. The way to become more conscious is to let go of negative emotions so that we can move up the scale. The scale goes from 1 to 1,000. At level 1000 is full enlightenment. It's the energy level of saints. The lowest level is 20. It's shame. He didn't talk about level 1. Probably means you're dead. Anyways, at the level of shame, it's pretty close to death. You're filled with humiliation and you basically abandon yourself. The next level is guilt. At level 30, you feel like everything is your fault and you tend to self-sabotage. Next up is apathy. At level 50. You feel hopeless, you tell yourself you can't, what's the use, and who cares. The next level is grief. At level 75, you feel a sense of loss, sadness, depression, and regret. At level 100, there's fear. You see danger everywhere. You feel insecure, anxious, possessive, and jealous. At level 125, there's desire. You want something outside yourself. You're just looking for gain and pleasure. At level 150, it's anger. At least at this level, there's finally some action. You're no longer fearful, but you're trying to overcome it by force and attack. It's full of resentment. At level 175, it's pride. You think your way is the best way and you're better than everyone else. You want achievement and recognition. As we move up to level 200, courage, that's a critical point. It marks the shift from negative to positive. You feel empowered, determined, and excited about life. You still feel some negative emotions from time to time, but you can deal with it. And at level 250 is neutrality. At this level, you're relatively free of emotionality. You feel it's okay either way. You're non-judgmental and non-competitive. At level 310, there's willingness. You're positive, friendly, and just want to be of service to others. Then at level 350, there's acceptance. At this level, you're free of inner resistance. You meet life on life's terms. Everything is good just the way it is. You're flexible and inclusive. At level 400 is reason. It's the basis of science, philosophy, and medicine. You're able to rapidly problem solve and make correct decisions. At level 500, it's love. At this level, you're no longer thinking with the mind. Everything comes from the heart. You're able to see the lovability of everything that exists. At level 540 is joy. You're able to love unconditionally, despite circumstances and other people's actions. You feel compassionate and at one with others. And at level 600, there's peace. You experience perfection, bliss, effortlessness, and oneness. It could be said you're enlightened. And of course, at level 1000, you're basically Jesus Christ or Buddha. Let's just skip that. Well, obviously we jump up and down the scale based on how we're feeling that day. On a good day, I might be able to reach the level of acceptance, and on a bad day, I might sink to the level of apathy. But there's usually one level we tend to operate at. Based on my own analysis, I think I operate at a level of courage. Generally, I feel empowered and excited about life, but I do feel negative emotions from time to time. The good thing is, as I start to learn how to let go, I feel like it's taking me less and less time to get out of these negative emotional states. There are two things I want to emphasize. One, it's okay to have negative emotions, and two, you're free to let it go or not let it go. Nobody's telling you you have to let it go. But ask yourself what for? What's the point of holding on to this emotion? Are you secretly hoping you could influence someone this way? For example, you feel angry because you feel like someone has wronged you. It's okay to feel angry, and you're free to hang on to it for as long as you like. The only thing is, if you think you could change the other person with your anger, you'll find that you're wrong, and you're gonna be pretty disappointed. Emotional suffering occurs when you wish things were different. This includes wishing life events were different, wishing other people would behave differently, or wishing you didn't feel a certain way. We all know what you resist persists. If you stop resisting and just accept it, you're more likely to be free from it. And that's when you'll be more capable of actually transforming your life and your relationships. To be surrendered means to have no strong emotion about a thing. It's okay if it happens and it's okay if it doesn't. When we're free, there's a letting go of attachments. We can enjoy a thing, but we don't need it for our happiness. There's progressive diminishing of dependence on anything or anyone outside of ourselves. If we could reach that state, we'll be free from emotional suffering and negativity. Okay, it's getting dark, so I gotta wrap it up. I just really wanted to share with you what I've learned from this book. I've gone through it for at least 4 or 5 times. I feel like I'm a changed person after reading this book. I highly recommend it. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!